Hey guys, it is Monday, August 5th, just a few hours after Hurricane Debby made landfall in Steinhatchee in Florida's Big Bend area, dumping record amounts of rain in areas of Florida's Gulf Coast. In this video, we're going to be heading out to the Barrier Islands in the Sarasota and Bradenton area to show you the conditions of the roads and the beaches.
Now today we were planning on heading to the St. Pete Beach area to check out some of those barrier islands, but the Sunshine Skyway was still closed, so that's why instead we're heading out to Anna Maria, Longboat, potentially Lido, and if we have time, Siesta. Downtown Bradenton doesn't look too bad. On our drive over the bridge from Palmetto, we saw that the water was quite high in the Riverwalk area, but it wasn't over the seawall.
Wow, the water over there in the inlet is definitely pretty high compared to its normal level.
We're crossing over the Palma Sola Causeway, and while the water to the north is pretty calm, the water to the south is quite rough and getting really close to the road. When Debbie was the closest to us in the Gulf, she was only a tropical storm, so we were expecting the worst of the storm to occur yesterday in the afternoon hours, but as it went north, it strengthened, and we really felt that strengthening in those outer bands. So for us, the worst was actually overnight. Those outer band storms, they were really loud and very, very frequent, so it was kind of hard to sleep because as you'd fall asleep after one passed, then you'd get woken up again as the next one arrived because the rain was just going sideways and hitting the windows so hard.
Yeah, I think I probably woke up 10 times overnight and probably didn't sleep more than 3 or 4 hours. But we knew Debbie was going to be a pretty big rain event. There were areas that were forecasted to get record amounts of rainfall, but I think we were both still pretty surprised to wake up to reports of 11 inches of rain in our area. Plus, we're expected to get more today, so by the time today's over with, we could easily be looking at rainfall totals of 15 inches or even more. We're now on Anna Maria Island heading north, and we're going to try to get up to Bean Point on the far north tip of the island.
A majority of this main road has been pretty dry, but there have been a lot of areas under a few inches of water. But if you look down the residential side streets, many of those appear to be under even more water.
It looks like our trek up to the far north end of the island may be coming to an end here because there is a police officer up ahead directing traffic. It appears that they aren't letting most of the vehicles through, but we'll see what they have to say.
You can't make it there anyway. If you don't live out here, we're not letting people in. Just to go up there. And the tide's so high right now, it's not safe. 12:37. Yeah, so it's not safe. All right, just take a right, take another right, it'll loop back around to Marina Drive.
So the police officer let us know that only local residents would be permitted to continue northwards up the island. He said we could park and walk the beach up to Bean Point if we really wanted to, but we decided that would be way too wet and windy, so we're turning around to explore more of the southern part of the island.
We're here at Manatee Beach, and the waves are pretty crazy. I think I'm gonna hang out here in the car, and Skylar's gonna show you what the beach looks like.
So as you can see, the beaches are in just fine condition. Doesn't seem to be like a whole lot of erosion out here that I can tell. The waves obviously are pretty big. And there's a few people out here on the beach, not too many.
We're now heading south on Anna Maria towards Bridge Street, and we're really hoping that there isn't too much water in that area. Surprisingly, this area of the island doesn't look too bad, so I think we're gonna continue on south and check out another beach.
We're now approaching Holmes Beach, and it actually looks like we have a group here that's planning on going swimming.
Not sure if you can hear it, but the roar of the water is so loud. Not typical at all. People are, I guess, going out to try to swim. I don't think that I would do that or recommend it.
Now the beach here is much narrower, so the water is much closer to the parking area. Pretty good waves out there.
Since this area of the island hasn't been too bad, we're heading further south to the Bradenton Beach area. Oh my gosh, you had me looking at how deep the water was over in that parking lot. I wasn't paying attention to the road. The Bradenton Beach parking lot is completely flooded on the south end, so we're not gonna attempt to park there and go out on the beach. Instead, we're gonna continue south to Longboat. So far, the main road on Longboat has been a lot better than the main road on Anna Maria, but looking down the side streets, a lot of those are also flooded, just like on Anna Maria.
We haven't been on Longboat very long at all, and we've already come across a few spots in the road that are almost completely underwater.
Now the last two areas weren't too bad, but the water here is a little bit deeper than I am comfortable with, and we do see a police officer stopping traffic up ahead.
So it's pretty clear that we wouldn't have been able to continue south even if we had wanted to, so we did decide to turn around and head north back up Anna Maria, where hopefully we can still get off the island.
So we made it as far as we could go on Longboat, at least for now. It is getting close to high tide, so there was an area where police were stopping people and people were turning around. So that's all the farther we can get today. We can't get through Longboat to get to Lido, and my guess is Lido is probably even more underwater than these two islands.
We're still a half hour from high tide too, so it's going to continue to get worse. And I think we've decided not to wait for the tide to start going down, to just head home.
Yeah.
And get this video up.
As we've been heading back, I've been looking up information about the flooding in the area. It does seem that Sarasota was hit even harder than Bradenton and Anna Maria. The Ringling Causeway that goes out to Lido Beach is closed. Most of Siesta Key is reportedly inaccessible as of the time that we're recording this video. There are also several neighborhoods and intersections in Sarasota that don't typically flood that are currently underwater. Parts of main roads like Fruitville, Bee Ridge, Cattleman, and Clark are closed. If you'd really like to see the conditions of some of the barrier islands that we didn't get to today, or some of them that are up a little bit further north by St. Pete, let us know in the comments. If we get enough, I guess, requests for certain areas, then maybe we'll get out again tomorrow.
It's always nice to have an OFB there when you're driving through a bunch of floodwaters, but I still highly recommend rinsing it off with red water after you're done.